Chapter 1: Blinky and the Mysteriously Missing Socks. Once upon a time in the town of Fuzzville, there lived a lovable, fluffy one-eyed monster named Blinky. Blinky was the friendliest monster you could ever meet. But he was known for his incredible ability to lose just about anything, especially his socks. One morning, as Blinky was getting ready for his day, he realized he could only find one of his fuzzy monster socks. Where could my other sock be? He wondered aloud, his one big eye blinking in confusion. He looked under his bed, where he found a squashed sandwich from last week, 2 missing spoons, and a rubber duck. But no sock. He looked in the fridge, where he found his missing homework, a jar of pickles, and a very surprised-looking piece of cheese. But still, no sock. Blinky decided to go outside and ask his friends for help. He hopped on one foot to his best friend Squiggly, the wiggly worm. "Squiggly, have you seen my sock?" Blinky asked. "I'm a worm, Blinky. I don't wear socks." Squiggly responded, giggling in his squiggly worm way. Blinky then asked Dimples, the giggling gopher, but Dimples hadn't seen the sock either. Though, she offered Blinky a donut, which he happily accepted. Feeling a bit sad, Blinky sat on a log, staring at his one bare foot. Suddenly, he heard a giggle from above. Looking up, he saw his sock hanging from a tree branch, being worn as a hat by a very cheeky squirrel. "Hey, that's my sock," Blinky called out. The squirrel looked down, chittered a laugh, and tossed the sock to Blinky. Catching it mid-air, Blinky cheered, "I found it." That night, Blinky made sure to keep his socks safe under his pillow. But as he drifted off to sleep, he realized something: he couldn't find his teddy bear. And so, the adventures of Blinky continued, promising that tomorrow would be another day filled with fun, laughter, and possibly another missing item. But for now, Blinky was content, knowing that at least he wouldn't have a cold foot in the morning. Chapter 2: The Great Jellybean Rain. The morning after the great sock hunt, Blinky woke up and noticed something odd. He found his teddy bear safely tucked next to him, but something else was different. He looked out the window and saw colorful little dots falling from the sky. "Oh my, it's raining jelly beans!" Blinky exclaimed, his one eye growing wide with delight. He quickly put on his now-found socks, grabbed a large umbrella, and rushed outside. He opened his umbrella upside down, trying to catch as many jelly beans as he could. Jellybean for breakfast, Jellybean for lunch, and Jellybean for dinner. Blinky sang, dancing around with glee. But soon, the jelly beans began to pile up, covering the paths, filling up the gardens, and even blocking the doors. The whole of Fuzzville was in a sticky, sweet mess. Blinky knew he had to do something. He went to his friend, Squiggly the worm. "Squiggly, do you think you and your worm friends can help eat some of these jelly beans?" Blinky asked, hopeful. Squiggly squirmed with joy, a jellybean feast. "We'd love to help." Next, Blinky went to Dimples the gopher. "Dimples, can you and your gopher friends tunnel through the jelly beans and clear the paths?" Dimples giggled and replied, "A new tunneling challenge." "We're on it, Blinky." And so, with the help of all their friends, they ate and tunneled through the jelly beans. It was a long day of work, but by the evening, the paths were clear, and the doors were unblocked. Exhausted but happy, Blinky returned home. As he took off his jellybean-stained socks, he noticed something unusual. "Oh no, where's my umbrella?" he gasped. And so, the delightful adventures of Blinky would continue, with another lost item and another day of laughter and fun in Fuzzville, the town that experienced the great jellybean rain. But for now, Blinky settled down for a good night's sleep, wondering if he'd dream of jelly beans. Chapter 3: Blinky's unexpected birthday surprise. A week after the great Jellybean rain, Blinky woke up to find a bright red party hat sitting on his pillow. He placed it on his head and looked in the mirror, blinking his one eye in surprise. "Oh, it's my birthday. I completely forgot," he exclaimed. Blinky decided to celebrate by inviting his friends over for a party. He reached for his bag of invitations, but it was missing. "Not again." Blinky sighed. But he didn't let that stop him. He decided to invite his friends in person. First, he invited Squiggly, who was busy munching on leftover jelly beans. Then he found Dimples, who was resting after her great tunneling efforts. Blinky spent the day inviting all his friends, forgetting all about his missing invitations. When he returned home, he found his house decorated with balloons, streamers, and a big sign that read, "Happy birthday, Blinky." Everyone shouted, "Surprise!" Blinky was taken aback. His one eye filled with joy. "You all did this for me?" Blinky asked. "Of course," Squiggly said. "You're always helping us. We wanted to do something special for you. And look," Dimples added, holding up Blinky's missing bag of invitations. "We found these stuck in a jellybean pile. So we decided to throw the party for you." Blinky was overwhelmed. He thanked his friends, and they all enjoyed the best birthday party ever. They played games, ate a delicious cake shaped like a sock, and even had a jellybean eating contest. As the day ended, Blinky thanked everyone once again. He looked around his decorated house and wondered, "Now, where did I keep my party hat?" And with that, Blinky's birthday came to an end, full of surprises, laughter, and yet another missing item. But as he fell asleep, he knew he had the best friends in the world, and he couldn't wait for the next day's adventure in Fuzzville. Chapter 4: The Day the Sun Slept In. Blinky woke up one morning to find everything unusually dark. He looked out the window and saw stars still twinkling in the sky. "Oh no, did I wake up too early? Or did the sun oversleep?" Blinky wondered. Determined to find out, Blinky put on his favorite socks and his red party hat that he found under his pillow, and he set off on his new adventure. First, he visited Squiggly, who was still asleep in his jellybean hole. "Wake up, Squiggly," Blinky said. "I think the sun has overslept." Squiggly squirmed out, yawning. "Oh, the sun must be very tired." Next, Blinky visited Dimples. "Dimples, the sun is still sleeping. What should we do?" Dimples chuckled. "Let's wake it up, Blinky." But how to wake up the sun? Blinky had a brilliant idea. "Let's make the biggest, loudest wake-up call ever." With the help of all the creatures in Fuzzville, they began. The birds chirped the loudest they could, the dogs barked in harmony, the cats meowed in unison, and all the residents clapped and cheered. It was the most tremendous noise Fuzzville had ever made. Just when Blinky thought it was hopeless, a tiny ray of light peeked over the horizon. Slowly but surely, the sun woke up, filling the sky with warm, golden light. "Hooray!" cheered everyone in Fuzzville. They were all relieved, but also quite tired from their great effort. As Blinky walked home, yawning, he realized something was missing again. "My party hat," he gasped. But he was too tired to look for it and decided to search for it in the morning. And so, the day the sun slept in ended with a beautiful sunset, a tired but victorious Fuzzville, and a very sleepy Blinky, who couldn't wait to curl up in his bed. He smiled, knowing that tomorrow would be another day of adventure, laughter, and perhaps another missing item. But for now, he was just happy to see the moon rise. Chapter 5: Blinky Saves the Day. A few days after the sun had its extra sleep, Fuzzville was in a frenzy again. This time, the mayor's special hat, a tall and shiny top hat, had gone missing. The mayor was upset because he was supposed to wear it for the annual Fuzzville fair that evening. Hearing the news, Blinky decided to help. After all, he was quite experienced with missing things. He put on his mismatched socks, he couldn't find a matching pair that day, and set off. He started at the mayor's office, looking under tables and behind curtains. No hat. He looked in the park, under the bridge, and even in Dimple's tunnels. Still no hat. Just as Blinky was about to give up, he heard a familiar chittering sound. Looking up, he saw the cheeky squirrel wearing the shiny top hat. "Hey, that's the mayor's hat!" Blinky shouted. The squirrel looked surprised, then chittered a laugh and tossed the hat down to Blinky. With the hat in his hands, Blinky rushed back to the mayor's office. "Mr. Mayor, I found your hat," Blinky announced, presenting the shiny top hat. "Oh, thank goodness. And just in time for the fair." The mayor was overjoyed. "Thank you, Blinky. You've saved the day." That evening, at the Fuzzville fair, the mayor thanked Blinky in front of everyone. All of Fuzzville cheered for Blinky, their little hero. Blinky blushed, his one eye sparkling with happiness. As the fair ended and Blinky headed home, he suddenly stopped. He looked down at his feet and then sighed with a chuckle, "Oh no, where's my other sock?" And so, the adventures of Blinky the one-eyed monster continued. Each day brought new laughter, new friends, and of course, new missing items. But Blinky wouldn't have it any other way. After all, every day was an exciting new adventure in the wonderful town of Fuzzville.